of infinite cyclic group. Next, start with the properties on any finite cyclic group. So, if we have G be any finite cyclic group, or before that, if G be a finite group, say order of G is exactly n. So if G be any finite group and order of G is n, then G is a cyclic if and only if there exists A belongs to G such that order of A is equal to n. That is, a finite order group is a cyclic if and only if it has an element whose order is the same as order of the group. So this one is the method to prove a finite group is a cyclic or non-cyclic. So simple example, if you will apply on this Zm under addition modulo m, now the additive order of 1 is m, so this implies Zm is a cyclic group. So how to prove a finite group is a cyclic? If there is an element whose order is equal to order of the group, then group must be a cyclic group. So simple reason. First, if we will assume that G is a cyclic, just proof of this statement implies G must be generated by some element A. So definitely G contains a square, a cube up to a to the power n minus 1, a to the power n, a to the power n plus 1. If all these elements are distinct, definitely, since order of G is n, so definitely these all elements are never distinct elements. So a to the power n must be equal to some a to the power n plus k. So this implies a to the power k must be equal to identity for some k. So definitely there are some elements which are not equal, which are not distinct. That is, there are exactly these n elements. So a to the power n plus 1 must be equal to a to the power some k. So this implies a to the power n plus 1 minus k should be identity. So this implies order of A divides n plus 1 minus k. Now, if the value of k is not equal to 1, now if the value of k, or just this one, if value of k is not equal to 1, so if k is greater than 1, so definitely a to the power n plus 1 minus k, so n plus 1 minus k definitely less than n. So this implies order of A less than n, or if order of A less than n, so this element must be identity, or this element is also identity. So definitely this group does not have an element. So G is a cyclic group, so G must be generated by this element. So a to the power n plus 1 must be equal to A. So this one is the concept. Or if this is equal to A, so definitely a to the power n is identity. So this implies a to the power n minus 1 is A inverse, a to the power n minus 2 is a to the power minus 2, and so on. And order of A must be n. So whenever G is a cyclic group, then order of this generator must be equal to order of a group. So directly also we can say that since this is H of A and we have proved that order of this HA must be equal to order of A. Now order of HA is equal to order of G, since G is a cyclic and finite, so definitely this is equal to n. And converse part, if there is A belongs to G such that order of A is n, so this obviously implies order of this subgroup generated by A, HA is n, and this H of A is a subgroup of G, and order of G is already n. Now HA is a subgroup of G with order n, and order of G is n, so obviously implies G must be equal to H of A, and H of A is generated by A. So a finite group is a cyclic if and only if it has an element whose order must be equal to order of the group. Now the properties of finite cyclic group. So from this step onward we are assuming that G be a finite cyclic group. So G is any finite cyclic group, and also assume that order of G must be n. So the first property is there must exist A belongs to G such that G is generated by A and order of A is equal to n. Simple. Since order of generator must be equal to order of the group, we have already proved in first statement. Now this implies G is of the form A square up to A to the power n minus 1 or A to the power n definitely equal to identity. So G is this group. Now first concept is in this group the number of generators in G. So question is, if G be a finite cyclic group of order n, then number of generators in this cyclic group. So B belongs to G is a generator of G if and only if G is generated by B, just simple definition, or if and only if order of this B must be equal to n. So just we are using the definition of generator. So how to find the generators? So B is any element of G, then this B is a generator of G if and only if order of B is n. Now G is a cyclic and G is generated by A, so definitely B must be of the form A to the power k. So B is a generator if and only if order of this B, which is A to the power k, is n. And we have already discussed the properties on order of A to the power k. So if order of A is n, then order of A to the power k. So order of A to the power k is always order of E upon GCD of k and order of A. Now this A is a generator, so definitely this value is n upon GCD of n and k. And since this is a generator, so order of A to the power k must be equal to n. So this implies the GCD of n and k must be equal to 1. And A to the power k belongs to G, so k definitely less than or equal to n and greater than or equal to 1. So that is, so what we have proved that if G be a finite cyclic group of order n and G is generated by A, that is G is of the form A square up to A to the power n minus 1, A to the power n is identity. then a to the power k belongs to G. So k definitely less than or equal to n and greater than or equal to 1 is a generator of G if and only if GCD of k and n is equal to 1. So this one is the set of generators. So we can directly write down. So this implies the set of generators in G is equal to a to the power k belongs to G such that GCD of n and k must be 1 and the value of k can be at most n or at least 1. So this is the collection of all generators in any finite cyclic group which is generated by E. And the most important or one of the important concept of the Euler function. So there is concept of a number theory. The Euler function which is denoted by phi defined from n to n be a function such that phi of n is representing number of natural number k belongs to n such that k is less than or equal to n and GCD of k and n is equal to 1. So the number of natural number which are less than or equal to some fixed number n and GCD of this k with n is less than 1, then this is denoted by phi n and this phi n is called Euler phi function. Now if this is collection of a generator, so the condition on k is varying from 1 to n, that is k is a natural number and k is less than or equal to n and GCD of k and n is equal to 1. That is the number of choices for this k is equal to exactly phi n. So from this we can directly say that the number of generators in G is equal to phi of n. And in particular, let G be a, or some of the example, let G be a cyclic group of order say 20. Then number of generators in G. So simply if G is generated by A, then set of generators of G is a to the power k with 1 less than or equal to k less than or equal to 20 and GCD of k and 20 should be is equal to 1. So the possible value of k whose GCD with the 20 is 1, so definitely k is equal to 1, then k equal to 3, then k is equal to 7, then k equal to 9, k equal to 11, then k is equal to 13, then k is equal to 17 and k is equal to 19. So choices for this is 8 choices. That is, this group has exactly 8 generators. So if order of group is some small quantity or small number, then by listing the elements you can directly count the number of elements. But if order of group is large, then how to calculate the number of generators? So for any n belongs to natural number, this n can be expressed as some p1 to the power a or p to the power a, q to the power b, or r to the power c dot dot dot, where p, q and r are distinct prime numbers and a, b, c are some natural number, or some of them may be 0. So every natural number has a unique prime factorization. Then from number theory, phi of n is given by n into 1 minus 1 upon p, 1 minus 1 upon q, 1 minus 1 upon r, and so on. So this is the direct method to calculate the phi. So this is simply concept of a number theory. You can easily prove this by number theory. So this we can apply on some large number. So for example, if G be a cyclic group of order 200, then we have to find the number of a generator in G. The question is number of generators in G. So how many generators G have? So definitely number of generator is phi of 200. Now this 200 can be written as 2 cube into 5 square, because 10 square into 2, or 10 square is 2 square into 5 square into 2. So this is 2 square into 5 square. So this implies phi of 200 is equal to 2 cube into 5 square into 1 minus 1 by 2 into 1 minus 1 by 5. So just if you will simplify this one, we have this is 1 by 2, that is 2 square, and this is 4 by 5, so into 4 into 5. That is total number of generators are 80. So if G be any cyclic group of order 200, then number of generator in G is exactly 80 generators. Those a to the power k such that GCD of k and 200 is 1 and k must be less than or equal to 200. So we have a first concept in a cyclic group. So if G is a cyclic group and order of G is n, and assuming that G is generated by A, then first we have discussed that the number of generators in G is exactly 5. Second one, the list of generator in G is a to the power k such that GCD of k with n is equal to 1 and k is a natural number and k less than or equal to n. So this is the list of all generators in G. Next concept is the number of subgroups of order k in this G, where k is any natural number. Then we have to calculate the number of subgroups of order k in this group G. So how to calculate? In first lecture we have in second lecture we have discussed the Lagrange theorem, or the statement of the Lagrange theorem. If G be a finite group, then order of a subgroup divides order of a group. So definitely, if so first situation, k does not divides n, order of G is n. So definitely G does not have any subgroups. of order k. If k does not divide n, then G does not have any subgroup of order k. Second situation, if k divides n, so this obviously we can write down n is equal to k into q. This implies n by k must be q. N is a natural number, k is a natural number, so definitely q is also belonging to n. The maximum value of k can be n or minimum value of k is 1, because g's are generated by a, so element of g is a square, a cube and so on. So minimum value of k is 1 or maximum value of k is n. So if minimum value of k is 1, so q can be n, or if maximum value of k is n, so q can be 1. So this implies this q definitely belonging, q is always greater than or equal to 1 or less than or equal to n. Now G is generated by A. So your group G is a cyclic and generated by A. So definitely G must be of the form a square up to a to the power n equal to identity. And Q is lying between 1 to n. So definitely a to the power q must be member of G. So in overall core proof, this one is the important concept. Whenever k divides n, so n can be written as k into q, then n by k must be a natural number which is q. So q lying between 1 to n, and if q is lying between 1 to n, then a to the power q must be member of G, and order of a to the power q is n upon GCD of n and q. And GCD of n and q, because q divides n, so GCD must be n, so this value must be equal to k. So we have proof that if k divides n, then there exists element a cube belongs to G such that order of this element is exactly k. So this implies we can define H, which is generated by a to the power q. Definitely H is a subgroup of G and order of H must be k. Since order of a cube is k, so order of H is also k. Every element generates a subgroup of its fixed order. So what we have proved that if k does not divide n, then G does not have any subgroup of order k. But if k divides n, then G must have a subgroup of order k. That is, for any cyclic group of order n, with respect to every divisor k of n, G has at least one subgroup of order k. So we have for each divisor k of n, we have a subgroup in G whose order is k. Now next is we have to decide whether this is a unique subgroup or there may exist some other subgroup. So let's assume that H1 is a subgroup of G such that order of H1 is k. So this H is of order k, so we have to decide the number of subgroup of order k, and assuming that H1 is another subgroup whose order is k. Now G is a cyclic, so obviously every subgroup of a cyclic group is a cyclic. So this implies this H1 is cyclic, or H1 is a cyclic subgroup, so definitely this implies H1 is generated by some a to the power r, because every element of G is in the form a square, something of this form. So H1 must be of the form a to the power r, and order of a to the power r must be k, because order of H1 is k. So this implies n upon GCD of n and r is equal to k. So what we have, n is equal to k times GCD of n and r, and n is already equal to k into q. So this implies k into q is equal to k into GCD of n and r. So this implies q must be GCD of n and r, or if q is a GCD of n and r, definitely q divides n, so r can be written as sum q into t, because q is the greatest common divisor of n and r. So this r can be written as q into t, so this implies a to the power r must be equal to a to the power q whole power t. Now a to the power q generates this h, a to the power q generates this h, so a to the power q whole power t must be belonging to h. Now the generator of h1, a to the power r, generates h1, so definitely the generator of h1 contains in h, so this implies h1 must be contained in h, because a to the power r contains, a to the power r whole square contains, and so on. So all elements of h1 must be member of h. Now order of h1 and order of h both are equal to k, so this implies h1 must be equal to h. So we have proved that whenever k divides n, then G must have a subgroup of order k, and if there is any other subgroup of order k, that subgroup must be equal to this subgroup. That is, for each divisor of n in a cyclic group of order n, there is exactly one subgroup of order k. So what we have property, if G is a cyclic group of order n and A is a generator of G, then number of subgroups of order k is always equal to, first equation, if k does not divide n, so does not exist, while in answer, if k divides n, then there is exactly one subgroup. That is, for each positive divisor of n, G must have unique subgroup of order of divisor of n. So that is, the number of or total number of subgroups in G. G is a cyclic group of order n, which is always equal to number of positive divisors of n, including 1 and n itself. And there is another function to count the positive divisor, which is represented by tau n, that is called tau function. And this tau function is also defined from natural number to natural number. So tau n is number of a positive divisor of n, including 1 and n. So again, if n is something p to the power a, q to the power b, r to the power c, and so on, then you can easily prove that tau of n is equal to a plus 1 into b plus 1 into c plus 1. Just try by yourself. If n can be written as a prime factorization where p, q are a distinct prime number, then tau n is always this one. So in any cyclic group of order n, the total number of subgroup is always represented by tau n, and the number of generator always represented by phi n. For example, if we will take G is a cyclic group, so G be a cyclic group, say of order 60. Then question is number of subgroups of G. So by this formula, number of subgroup is tau of 60. Now this 60 can be written as, so factorization of 60 is 2 square into 3 into 5. So A is equal to 1, B is equal, A is equal to 2, B is 1, C is 1. So this implies tau 60 is A plus 1, that is 3 into 2 into 2. That is, there are exactly 12 subgroups of any cyclic group of order 60. So in a cyclic group, what we have discussed, so first concept we have discussed, a finite order group is a cyclic if and only if it has an element whose order is equal to order of the group. Second, if G be a cyclic group of order n, then number of generator in G is exactly phi n. Third concept is, if G be a cyclic group of order n, then for each divisor k of n, G has exactly one subgroup of order k. And if k does not divide n, then by Lagrange theorem, G does not have any subgroup of order k. And finally, we have discussed the number of or total number of a distinct subgroup in a cyclic group of order n is exactly tau n, where tau n is a tau function which produces the number of a positive divisor of n. Next is if G be a cyclic group of order n, then question is the number of elements of order k. If G be a cyclic group of order n, then how many elements of order k in G? So this one is question. So obviously, by lemma of the Lagrange theorem, if k does not divide n, so there does not exist any element of order k, because order of every element divides order of a group. So if k does not divide n, definitely there does not exist any element of order k. Now second case is if k divides n. Now whenever k divides n, so we have already discussed that n can be written as k into q, implies n by k is equal to q, implies a to the power q belongs to G, assuming that G is generated by A. And a to the power q belongs to G, and already we have discussed that order of a to the power q must be equal to k. Just use the formula of order of a to the power q. That is, whenever k divides n, then G must have at least one element of order k. And this also implies there exists H which is generated by a to the power q, and H is order of H is k. Now H itself is cyclic group of order k, and H is a cyclic group of order k, so this implies there exist 5k generators in H, and the order of a generator is always the same as order of the group. So definitely if 5k is a generator, 5k generator in H of 5k are the generator of H, so definitely there exist 5k elements of order k in H or G, because order in a subgroup and order in a group must be same. So 5k number of element of order k in H or in G. So that is, whenever k divides n, so definitely G has at least one element of order k, or if G has one element of order k, so definitely G has a cyclic subgroup of order k, and if G has a cyclic subgroup of order k, then definitely G has at least a 5k element of order k. Now if there exists B belongs to G such that order of B is k but B does not belong to H, assuming that there exists at least one element whose order is k but it is not member of H, that is, except this 5k element there is another element whose order is k, so definitely we can define H1 which is generated by B, and order of H1 is equal to k, since order of B is k. Now B does not belong to H, so definitely H is never equal to H1. Now if there exists this B whose order is k, so B must generate a subgroup of order k which is not equal to H. That is, this G has at least two subgroup of order k, which is contradiction, because we have already proved that whenever k divides n, then G has exactly one subgroup of order k. So now to prove something, the order is a matter. First we have proved that if G is any cyclic group of order n, then for every divisor k of n, there is exactly one subgroup of order k. That statement we are using in this proof. So this is a contradiction. That is, this B does not exist. Or if the B does not exist, then definitely there is exactly 5k element of order k. So whenever k divides n, so G must have exactly 5k elements of order k. So we have calculated the number of element of a fixed order in any cyclic group, and a number of a subgroup or total number of a distinct subgroup or number of a distinct subgroup of order k, and then number of generators in any cyclic group. So these are four most important property for any cyclic group. Next is some of the homework for you. Just try these all four statements and solve this question, which we will discuss in the next lecture. So first question is, if G be a group of order 20, G be any group of order 20, so there is no restriction on a group, it may be cyclic, may be non-cyclic, then number of element of order 5, or basically possible number of element. So possible number of elements of order 5 in G. So first option is say 3, second option 5, third option is 4, and fourth option is 7. These are some of the options. So there is no requirement of use to cyclic group or anything. Just use the basic information. We have to count the number of element of order. In same question, so this is say first question and theory is same. Second question is option is it can be 4, second 8, third 12, and fourth is 16. And first question, 3 options are odd number and 1 option is even number. But in second question, all options are even number. So try these 2 questions. And next one is question number 3. If G be any group such that G has exactly 20 elements of order 5. G is any group such that G has a 20 element of order 5. Then number of cyclic subgroup of G of order 5. So G be any group with exactly 20 element of order 5, then number of subgroup of G whose order is 5. So try this question again. And fourth one is if, or question number 4, if G be any group, G be any group, maybe finite, maybe infinite, does not matter, such that for every n belongs to natural number, G has exactly 5 n elements of order n. So what we have information, G be any group such that with respect to every natural number, G has exactly 5 n element of order n. Then the number of, or P statement is, if H is a subgroup of G and order of H is a finite, implies H is a cyclic. So just you have to verify whether this statement is true or false. Second Q statement is the number of subgroups of order K is 1 for all K belongs to natural number. That is, every finite order subgroup exists in this group and there is a unique subgroup for every finite order. So again, you have to verify whether this statement is true or false. So please try these 4 questions. Just use the information of a cyclic group and the properties of a finite cyclic group. Based on this, you can solve these all properties. Thank you.